Thank you for the many gifts you receive, that we receive each and every day, including the beautiful weather tonight and our armed forces who continue to protect our freedom each and every day. We ask that you please watch over our drivers, teams and crews, track officials, and our wonderful fans here at the racetrack and throughout the week. We pray this in your name. Amen.
And starting at the tail of the field in heat race number 1, trying to work out the bugs in that 75 is Strasburg's Marcus Malkett. Green flag coming out of turn number 4, and we're underway at Mid-Vale Speedway. As Ritter, the Weirton, West Virginia driver, takes the lead into turns 1 and 2 as Summers looks to the high lane. It's Stankiewicz on the low side. To complete lap number 1 across the stripe will be Jonathan Ritter. Close battle for the second spot as Summers races the high lane, and it's Stankiewicz on the inside. Wheel to wheel, door to door as they head off into turn number 3. Ritter hanging on to the number 1 spot. Stankiewicz running second, and Summers running third. They're soon to single out as Summers will now drop it down to the preferred line. Johnny Hughes hanging on to the number 4 spot. Here comes Huffman to the inside for 4th. 3 laps down, 5 laps to go at the line. Just about the halfway mark of our late model fast heat tonight at Mid-Vale Speedway. The 28 of Ritter leads the way. Running second is Stankiewicz. Third is Summers. 4th spot, the 90 car of Huffman. And Huffman has out the fishing pole, starting to reel in the top 3. Huffman's car hooked up tonight. 5 in, 3 to go at the line. Can Ritter hang on? Stankiewicz in the 42 has closed the gap down to now just a few feet behind. Ritter a little bit stronger off of 2. Stankiewicz takes it strong into 3. 2 laps to go at the line. Stankiewicz trying to find that low lane. Ritter doing a nice job keeping that door closed. We're single file 1st through 7th in our fast heat. The white flag will wave this time, signifying 1 to go. And Ritter leads the way at the line. Stankiewicz will check up. Ritter closes the door in turn number 1. Stankiewicz a little bit sideways off of 2. Summers therefore checks up as they head into 3. They come to the checkered. Weirton, West Virginia driver Jonathan Ritter brings it across the line with the win. Stankiewicz finishes 2nd. Summers in 3rd. 4th is Huffman. Malkett's car looks like it's handling pretty well now here in the heat race. He comes from the back to finish 5th. We go flag to flag tonight at our fast heat race. Your Auto Connection, Culligan Water Company, Hooper's Rock Springs Parts and Service, Simpson Race Products, and Art Vanderlei Services. Number 28, let's hear it for Weirton, West Virginia's Jonathan Ritter. Bryant Smith, point runner-up. He starts on the outside of row 3. And Mike Miller, the many-time track champion, starts on the final row in row number 4 as we go green off of 4. And into the first turn, it's the 22 of Todd Ripley taking the number 1 spot. Mills in the number 2 position, fighting in that outside lane after his run last night at the Dixie Motor Speedway in Birch Run, Michigan. A little bit free off the exit of turn number 4. I guess would be an understatement as he nearly spun it. For the number 3 position, it is the number 2 car of Mills. And number 4 car of Mills on the outside. The 2 of Rosenberry takes the inside lane and takes the 3rd spot away. We have 3 laps complete, going to be halfway the next time by. To be 4 laps in and 4 to go. Looking smooth right now, the veteran Todd Ripley in the 22 car. Sharp look at number 22 this year. Nice body lines on the 22 Jayberg ride. Todd Ripley leading the way. Nearly has a half straightaway advantage as now Bryant Smith looks to the inside. Smith on the inside. Rosenberry thought about making it 3 wide. It's just a heat, so he doesn't. Smith, that's Roger Smith falling back to the 3rd position. Alex Rosenberry moves up to the 3rd spot. As Roger Smith now in the Claiborne Auto Store's number 43 is caught in the outside lane. Mike Miller from the final starting position moves up to 4th. And Terry Coletti's going to give the white flag this time by. 1 to go for Todd Ripley. Roger Smith has dropped to that final position. He's going to call it an early end to his heat race as we come off of turn number 4. Claiming the win, formerly from Janaten Hutton, now from Uriksfield, is Todd Ripley claiming the victory. Brian Smith in the number 2 spot, finishing 3rd, the number 2 of Alex Rosenberry. It is the Michael Taylor Allstate Insurance, C&K Auto Service, Route 39 Auto Salvage, Fox Auto Salvage and Parts. Number 22, claiming the victory. This is Todd Ripley.
Okay, Matthew says it's Slentz.
It is Joe Slentz. So we've got confirmation. Joe Slentz behind the wheel, the 47, as green is out. And it's Gary Hoopengarner taking the lead into turn 1. He'll go out of turn number 2, and Hoopengarner in the Slentz racing ride goes into turn number 3, the leader, the Animal. Riding that bottom lane is going to be Schneider looking to the outside. Here comes Schneider to the outside of Bob the Animal Eichel for the 2nd position. Hoopengarner shoving up a little bit in the banking of turn number 4. As we have 2 laps complete and 6 to go in our 3rd heat race for the late models. Leading the way, Hoopengarner, but he has trouble looming closely. It is the 17 of Schneider. Looks to the inside, coming off of the 2nd turn. Hoopengarner going to try to close the door. Will he close it? Yes, he will. The door has been slammed shut. Halfway signal this time. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Hoopengarner leading. Here comes Schneider again, making an effort to the inside lane. No can do in turn number 3. 3 laps to go. Hoopengarner slams the door shut again. Schneider wants this heat race win. First night back out in the car. He's got the run. He's up to the door. Hoopengarner says, no, I want it more than you do. 2 laps to go for Gary Hoopengarner. Schneider again to the inside. This time he's got the runny knees. He's not going to slam the door shut this time. If he does, it will be on 3rd. Coming to the white flag, 1 to go for Bob Schneider. Coming to the checkered off of turn number 4, it's going to be Denison's Bob Schneider Jr. picking up the heat race win. 2nd spot to Hoopengarner, 3rd to Martin, 4th spot to Eichel. And it's a photo finish. Photo finish, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to go back to the tape. Oh, that's right, McCallagher just...
I thought maybe he picked it up because of the longer last name than Slentz.
I think we're going to have to look back at the tape on that 5th play. That's going to be a point right there. I think we've got our first controversy of the night, Chris.
It could be.
Let's have a nice round of applause for your winner of heat race number 3, Bob Schneider Jr. It's for the 21 of Bryce Allensworth, and points runner-up and defending 2-time point champion for the modifieds, Kevin McClintock. We go green off of turn number 4. Underway in our first heat race of 2 heat races for the Summit Racing Economy Modifieds, and it's a good battle. In the first row, in the 2nd row, and in the 3rd row, and Braden Swaney using that outside lane, going to come across the line leading lap number 1. Oh, Krebs up the banking a little bit in 1 and 2. Able to keep a little bit of gap between the two, so no contact was made, but they are close. In fact, some contact made in turn number 3. Going to eventually help Swaney take sole possession of the number 1 spot. Sharply done, number 27 race car goes into the lead. He will be able to close the door now on Krebs, a rookie in our modified division. Battle for third between Grove and Bailey. Grove on the inside, Brandon Bailey on the outside lane. Talked about some of the drivers that have made much improvement in 2015. I would say Bailey's got to be looked at as one of those, qualifying in the fast heat tonight and running strong in Groove, number 2. Sibla, the point leader, follows him. The point runner-up follows Sibla back at about the number 7 spot. We are at the halfway mark of this 8-lap heat race. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Swaney leading the way. Krebs running second. Grove running third. And here comes Bailey. The outside lane is open. It's his if he wants to use it. Krebs, in fact, going to try that second lane. It didn't look like his car was real happy out there. And, in fact, a car that's not happy is Sibla's as it comes to a stop in turn number 2. Sibla to a stop in turn number 2. Going to be our first caution of the night. First caution of the night. It's for the number 82 of your point leader, Bob Sibla Jr.
Hey, Adam. How about we give a big call to Chuck Barrett down here? He got hit last week by a piece of debris. He's down here in the stands tonight. How about everybody give a big round of applause to Chuck Barrett?
I heard he tried to give a Paul Pierce effort last week and get back up on the starter stand.
He did, but I don't think that would have been wise. But it's good to see him down here. Said he's feeling well, so it's a good thing. Once again, last call on these green tickets.
You're getting the famous Debbie glares. We go back to green coming off of turn number 4. We are underway. And yellow flag waving again. Brandon Bailey, Bryce Allensworth in row number 3. We're ready to roll. Turn number 4. 3 laps of racing to go in this fast heat for the modifieds. Good restart. We're underway. Krebs a little more power, middle of the straightaway. Swaney going to pull back alongside the preferred lane number 1 on the inside groove. Here's the 3 of Grove looking low. Glenn Jewell to the rear bumper. Had to check up going into 3. Krebs going to take it high. Look out coming out of turn 4. Final 2 laps. Tad Grove, the car to watch now. He's up to the number 3 spot. Now make it the 2nd position down the backstretch. White flag this time. 1 to go. 1 final lap to go for the 27 of Braden Swaney. Grove will take 2nd. Krebs has his hands full in the 3rd position. The 55 of Brandon Bailey. He'll move up into the number 3 spot. Checkered flag is out. And across the line, Braden Swaney will pick up the victory. Tad Grove brings home 2nd. Brandon Bailey takes 3rd. Kevin McClintock to 4th after starting at the back. Picking up the win in the fast heat. And I don't know this for sure, but I believe this would be his first fast heat victory of his career in the modifieds. The Full Force Taekwondo, My Museum Tattoo, Schneider Home Improvements, Schwartz Trucking, and Gribble Fabrications. Number 27, let's hear it for the youngster Braden Swaney.
Braden finally getting this modified figured out. Multi-time champion in our compact division. Moved up a season ago and doing a nice job finally getting that 27.
A little bit of contact down in turn number 1. They continue on. 92 of Mike Hudson into the lead. Hudson closes the door on Martyr entering the first corner. Going to get a little power push, and around goes Martyr in turn number 2. Left front suspension messed up now on the number 10 of Sean Kaufman. And I say we're about ready to give away a bunch more stuff, right, Chris?
Yeah, you're hogging the airways.
My
just
bad.
Like all, just
My bad.
like
I haven't
always.
got to talk. I've got to call
changed.
2 events. I got to call an ARCA race at Winchester and
Oh, my heart's bleeding.
I know, it probably hurts you. Ready to go back to green. 1 lap in, 7 laps to go. We are back underway. The green is out, and Mike Hudson goes into turn number 1 with the lead. Gets on the rumble bumps. Here comes Embry to the outside. A little brake check session on the bottom lane coming off of 2. Embry pulling forward. A battle between a couple of modified rookies here at Midvale Speedway. Embry does clear Hudson. Will he close the door? Yes, he will. Now the battle for 2nd. Philip Cox in his sophomore season in modifieds. He'll move into the number 2 spot. The outside lane moving forward, the veteran. On the outside lane, the 0-2 of Mike Bowers. Bowers up to the door. Ripley looking to the bottom lane. Going to have 3 wide. This may work. It may not. I'll take the it may not, and he will check up, does Ripley, going into turn number 3. Little brake check. See some tires smoke. Up the banking goes the 0-2 of Bowers. We have 4 complete with 4 to go, and now it's time to watch the battle for the lead. And the battle for third again. Resumes 3 wide into the corner, and again Ripley thinks better of it. Philip Cox will lead lap number 5. Ripley going to go to the high lane now. Things start to settle down a little bit through the field in this second and final heat race for the mods. Street Stocks up next. That could have been ugly. Up the track went the 92 of Hudson. And around goes the 25 of Martyr again. Five in, 3 to go, and Sean Martyr we are back to green, 5 laps in, 3 to go. It's a good restart for Embry, but Cox is going to fight back on the inside lane. 2 laps to go at the line. It's going to be Cox leading at the stripe. Half a lap to go for Phillips Cox. He takes the lead down into turn number 3, into turn number 4, to the checkered flag of Terry Coletti. Gives a little peace salute as he comes across the line, and Philip Cox claims the win. Sharp-looking 09 ride here in 2015. So picking up the win in heat race number 2, the Ron Kirkpatrick Racing Alpha Heating and Cooling 09. Let's hear it for Philip Cox.
Once again, pink ticket or tan ticket, 2457-2625.
Number 1 car, Gary Hoopengarner. He starts 5th, second fast in qualifying, and top qualifier, Kyle Grove. He starts 6th. Green flag, turn number 4. Heat race action underway for the fast heat in the JD Byriders Street Stock class, and Waylon Orr takes him into turn 1 and 2 as your leader. Waylon Orr down the back stretch will pull out with the lead. Hoopengarner kind of backs up from the field a little bit after a good qualifying effort earlier. Going to slide up the banking and come to a stop in turn number 4. So something wrong with the number 1 Hoopengarner machine. Caution is out.
Caution, guys. Caution.
Yellow is out. Looking as if maybe the number 1 stopped to get a retry. The Express Service is number 1. Or Bob Passwaters Sr. off of turn 4 to the green, and a good restart. 0 laps complete. It is a complete restart. Back underway again in our fast heat for the Street Stocks. Waylon Orr car looks like it's hooked up tonight. He's going to pull out with the lead. Passwaters Sr. caught in the outside lane. The rookie, Colton Ritchie, going to run out of room a little bit. Passwaters tried to close the door. So we are rolling under green flag conditions. 1 lap down, 7 to go. Kyle Grove, the top qualifier, in the number 5 spot. His buddy Gary Hoopengarner running right behind him in the number 6 position at the tail of our field here tonight, as Waylon Orr leads the way. 75 of Passwaters in the number 2 position. 3rd is Colton Ritchie. 4th is Kyle Grove, and Kyle Grove right now a little bit boxed in. Now he has some open space on the outside lane if he so chooses to use it. And he will. He'll go to the outside groove, heading down into turn number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I did bring a flyover with me tonight for your pleasure. There's a flyover tonight here at Midvale Speedway. Enjoy. A little bit late for the national anthem, Chris. We are halfway, 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Waylon Orr leading the way. Passwaters Sr. running in 2nd. 3rd, Colton Ritchie, but not for long. Kyle Grove moving up to the number 3 spot. If 1 flyover wasn't enough, we add a 2nd to it. Here comes Grove looking to the inside. Grove in the 3rd position, taking another look to the outside of Passwaters Sr. for the number 2 spot. Down to the final 2 laps. We're going to see the white flag next time by to be 1 to go for the 28 car of Waylon Orr. Final lap for the new Philadelphia driver, Waylon Orr, in the 28 car. Doing a little dirt tracking coming off at 2 is Orr. 3 of Grove has moved into the number 2 spot. We're going to come off of turn number 4 to the checkered flag, and it's going to be the 28 of Waylon Orr claiming the victory in our fast heat for the street stocks. 3 of Tad Grove in second, finishing third, the 75. That's Kyle Grove, not Tad. Kyle finishing second, finishing third is Passwaters. In the Mallet Energy Bucky Mowing, sponsor number 28, second-generation racer here at Midvale Speedway, son of Jimmy Orr. Put your hands together for Waylon Orr.
Okay, Adam, I'm going to try and read off a bunch of tickets here, so get your tickets ready. Please come to the bottom of the main scoring tower.
Patterson back behind the wheel this week. 55, Kyler Bertram outside of row 3. The 39 of Brian Lewis starts in the 7th spot. 8-lap heat race number 2 for the street stock division is underway. Green is out. Larry Smith, he's going to take the lead coming off of 2. Larry Smith will be your leader at the end of lap number 1. Larry Smith out front. Chase Hughes in second. Passwaters Jr. in third. TJ Barker runs in the 4th spot. As the Canton Auto Salvage Compact Division starts lining up pit side for their first heat. First battle on the track is the 5th spot. Going at it, the 80 of Patterson, the 55 car of Kyler Bertram. Larry Smith continues to lead the way, and he's built up a huge gap on the 2nd place car of Chase Hughes. Hughes, a young driver in our street stock division, but holding a pretty wheel right now in that number 2 spot. Running 3rd, the 74 of Passwaters. Chase Hughes going to be your leader here in just a moment because a speeding ticket is on the way for the 44 of Larry Smith. He's broken out of his qualifying time. Rim riding at the back of the field, the 39 of Lewis nearly got up into the wall coming out of 2. It's going to be 6 laps in the next time around. We have completed 5 right now. Hughes opened up the inside lane for Passwaters, but he closed it right back up. 2 to go this time for Chase Hughes in the 0-3. Passwaters in second, Barker in third. Here comes the 80 car of Robbie Patterson. He's running a nice race tonight. They got the 80 car pretty well hooked up, especially after that feature win last week. White flag is out, 1 to go for the 0-3 of Hughes. And Hughes not making a mistake down in 1 and 2. Coming off of turn number 4, most likely on his way to his first career Midvale Speedway victory is Chase Hughes. 2nd spot to the 74 of Passwaters. 3rd to the 11 of Barker, finishing 4th, the 80 of Patterson. That are improving. This is one of them, Chase Hughes, son of Johnny Hughes. And not only is his dad having a good night so far, Chase, I believe, wins his first career Midvale Speedway checkered flag. He'll come to the line. He's driving the Majestic Motors, Majestic Trailer and Hitch, Johnny's Fab Shop 03. Let's hear it for Chase Hughes.
It's awesome to see different drivers in victory lane. It's always a good thing.
And on the outside lane of row number 2, it's going to be the 21 of Gage Jayberg, 69 of Dan Bucky inside of row 3, Kyle Finlayson outside, and rounding it out, top qualifier and point leader, Wes Ennis. The green is out. We're underway for our first heat race. 8 laps in our fast heat for the Canton Auto Salvage Compacts. And Lisa Moore, she's going to hold the lead, but here comes Jayberg, threading that racing needle, heading off into the 3rd turn. Lisa Moore will lead lap number 1. Tight battle for 2nd. A lot of round bodies in this race. Only one of the old school Cavaliers, that the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. But for the lead, the 21 car of Gage Jayberg takes the number 1 spot. Lisa Moore drops into the second position. The battle for third between Larry Ennis Jr. and the number 15 of Kyle Finlayson. Finlayson running strong right now in the 15, using that high lane. Finlayson for second. Oh, gets a little bit of contact. Look out. Up the banking, around goes Ennis in the 57. And caution will wave. Dan Bucky in row number 2. Row number 3 of Jim Keller and Wes Ennis. We're ready for green. It's coming out of turn number 4. We're underway. Gage Jayberg, second-year compact driver at Midvale Speedway, goes into the lead. Finlayson moving into second. Dan Bucky, he's got a number of podium finishes this year. He's going for the third spot. Four laps in, 4 laps to go. The back of the field, Wes Ennis battles with Jim Keller and the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. That's the battle on the racetrack right now because Gage Jayberg in the 21 has this one. Looks to be in hand. White flag is out. One final lap to go for the 21 of Gage Jayberg. And we're going to race off of turn number 4 this time. It is New Philadelphia driver Gage Jayberg in elation as he comes across the line with a heat race victory. Second spot to the 15 of Kyle Finlayson. Third to Dan Bucky. 4th spot to Lisa Moore. Let's hear it for your winner of heat race number 1, Gage Jayberg. Young driver, the Michael Taylor Allstate Insurance, C&K Auto Service, Route 39 Auto Salvage, and Fox Auto Salvage and Parts. 21, your win, a dominating victory in heat 1 for the compacts. 300 Corbett on the inside, the 16 on the outside. That's Mike McDonald, 46. Christian Bailey, 24, driven by Brent Schreffler and Alan Clark in the 169. Your lineup, we're about 4 wide coming off of turn number 2. They single down to 2 wide. A little bit of contact for the number 3 position. Zach Koger in the 726 of Vic Paul. We continue on. We're going to complete lap number 1. 1 down, 7 to go. Laney Stresky in the 17 after some issues in hot laps, trying to get that car running right. Looks to be running okay right now. Still definitely sounds to be down a cylinder as she comes down the front straightaway. Handling well, but definitely not getting down the straightaway like it should. Stresky with engine issues on the 17. There's the 38 of Brandon France taking over the lead in turns 3 and 4. He's a second-year compact driver at Midvale Speedway. France out front. Mike McDonald on the move in the 16. Christian Bailey threading the needle. He's up to the 3rd spot. Now make it 2nd. Little contact. Laney Stresky, she goes to the infield. Laney Stresky has gone to the infield, and it's going to bring out a caution. Yellow out for Laney Stresky in the 17. Three laps in, 5 laps to go. The 38 of Brandon France, the 16 of Mike McDonald. They're going to come off of turn number 4. The green flag is out. We are racing again. There goes Schreffler. He's going to use up that 3rd lane. Brent Schreffler in the outside. Schreffler will fall back a little bit. There's a wall there, and he just avoids it. 46 of Bailey closed the door. 16 of Mike McDonald. Schreffler's now going off into the infield. He went to the outside of Bailey. Bailey didn't know he was there. He closed the door on the backstretch. And Brent Schreffler, some more bad luck this season as he's had about 16 engines underneath the hood of that car. Mike McDonald leads the way. Christian Bailey in second. We're going to have 6 laps in and 2 laps to go at the line this time. Bailey holding on to second. Alan Clark running in the 3rd position, and 4th, the 38 of Brandon France. Stresky hanging on to the 5th position. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for the 16 of Mike McDonald. Coming to the checkered off of turn number 4, Mike McDonald in the green and black. Number 16 will claim the victory in our second heat race for the compacts. Alan Clark with a second-place run. Christian Bailey finishes 3rd, finishing 4th, Brandon France, and finishing 5th, the 17 of Laney Stresky. We have the Finish Line Motors mini trucks. He's been in victory lane in feature action this year. M&D Designs, the sponsor for Dusty Nicholas. We're ready for green, 8 laps the distance. The mini trucks are on the track, and they're underway. Already a great start for the 118 truck of Colt Locker. Kevin Locker winning the feature in that truck 1 week ago. A former Bertram ride. It's the Locker ride now, and they're off the corner. Still handles like the Bertram ride, that little bit of freeness coming off the corner, and Colt Locker goes into the number 1 spot. Colt Locker in the lead, sliding it sideways off the corner. Keith Anderson in second. 3rd, the 23 of Dusty Nicholas. A little bit of a better truck field tonight. This is a good division. If you got a truck sitting around, make a race truck out of it. Bring it down and compete on Saturday nights here at Midvale Speedway as Dusty Nicholas has moved from the back of the field. Passes. Keith Anderson takes over second. Dusty Nicholas will loop it around coming off of turn number 2. Does a 360, keeps on going. He's going to do a 720 and keep on going. 360 wasn't enough. How about that 720? 4 laps complete, 4 laps to go. The 118 truck of Colt Locker. Don't be surprised if he tries to better it and do a 360 of his own. That thing gets really sideways coming off the turns. And he leads by nearly a straightaway over the 32 of Keith Anderson. Question is, does Dusty Nicholas get credit for 2 laps because he went 2 extra turns around coming off of turn 2? By looking at timing and scoring, the answer is no. 6 laps in now for the 118 of Colt Locker. Keith Anderson, Derek Cordia, 2nd and 3rd. 4th spot, Michael Varnes. Going to be the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for the 118 of Colt Locker. Colt Locker in the 118 leads down the backstretch. Truck found its way into victory lane last week with his dad driving. Tonight, Colt behind the wheel, and Colt's going to find victory lane in the heat race. The 118 of Colt Locker picks up the win. 2nd to Keith Anderson. 3rd to the 72 of Cordia. Michael Varnes will finish 4th in the 95. 23, Dusty Nicholas, he rallies to finish 5th. Cody Jayberg 6th, and Preston Kelly will finish.
I think it was his dad.
The Locker Racing Townhouse. Number 118 from Summerdale claiming the victory. Let's hear it for Colt Locker. Colt Locker, son of Kevin Locker. Kevin has picked up victories with this truck this season. Colt now behind the wheel tonight and wins in the heat race. Had some pressure coming from Dusty Nicholas, and then he did a 720 coming off of turn 2 and kept on rolling to keep the green flag out, but planned tonight with issues on his main ride. What's up, Chris?
Oh, guess what else we get to do tonight?
The crank it up?
You got it. Do a little crank it up here later.
That sounds good. Braden. Ready to go green, coming off of turn number 4, Braden Swaney in the 27. Tad Grove in the number 3. Feature Racing at Midvale Speedway. Van Meter's Auto Repair. Federated Auto Parts Night at Thunder in the Valley is underway. It's going to be Grove taking the advantage off of turn number 2. He will clear the 27 of Swaney as they head to 3. The veteran Glenn Jewell to the outside for the number 2 spot. Glenn Jewell on the high lane. Braden Swaney on the inside groove as they head down into the first corner. Glenn Jewell in that second lane looking strong. We noticed a little bit earlier during intermission they put some of the track grip down in the outside lanes of the corners to help with that second groove, and right now it's looking pretty good for the 24 car of Glenn Jewell. It's already looked good for the number 3 car of Grove. Jewell, a good run off of 2. He's going to pull forward, not quite clearing the 27. He does now, does not close the door yet. Lap 3 completed. The line for the number 3 of Tad Grove. Your leader, Grove, followed by Glenn Jewell, followed by the 27 of Braden Swaney. The battle now for 4th. Brandon Bailey on the inside. Bryce Allensworth on the outside lane. 4th, 5th, and 6th going at it. McClintock is boxed in the 38 car. Bob Siblett Jr. nearly spun that 82 car. The backup plan coming off of turn number 4 that time by. Going to be 1/5 complete this time. 5 laps in, 20 to go for Tad Grove in the number 3. Glenn Jewell in the second spot. Braden Swaney running 3rd. The battle for 4th between Brandon Bailey and the 21 of Bryce Allensworth. Allensworth, a feature win a few weeks ago here at Midvale Speedway. This time he bobbles, he checks up. That opens the door for the 38 of McClintock, and Kevin McClintock is up to 5th. He'll go for 4th now. He finds an opening to the inside of Bailey. Mike Bowers, the Maslin driver, has taken a 0-2 car to the pits. Krebs up the track, opens the door for Philip Cox. Beaten and banging in 3 and 4. Philip Cox will take the position. He's up to 7th at the line. We're going to complete lap number 8 at the stripe this time. 8 laps in. Tad Grove is the leader, but he has a challenger looming behind him. And also McClintock has moved into 4th. McClintock to 4th. He's going to go after 3rd here in just a little bit. Braden Swaney right now holding on to it. Brandon Bailey still working that outside groove, and Bailey, the grandson of Joe 9, really working that outside lane all night long in the heat race and now in the feature. Lap number 10. We'll go up on the imaginary board this time by. 10 laps in, 15 laps to go for the number 3 of Tad Grove. Glenn Jewell has it down to a car length. McClintock up to the 3rd spot. Braden Swaney back to 4th, and Allensworth runs in 5th. Bailey back to the 6th position. Philip Cox in 7th. Keith Krebs in 8th. And Glenn Jewell puts it down on the rumble strips. He looks to the inside. Grove's challenger is there. The lead duo pulling away to about a straightaway gap over McClintock. Now Kevin should be able to start closing that gap a little bit, running by himself. 5th, 6th, 7th, that's still a battle. Here comes Jewell trying to set up that run to the inside of Tad Grove. So far can't do it. Allensworth finds an opening to the inside of Swaney. Swaney's going to open the door in 3 and 4. We are halfway. 13 complete, 12 to go. Clean and green so far in the modified race. Maybe not for long. Philip Cox contact with Bailey, still beating and banging. They continue on. They're going to hit again, possibly in 3. No. Bailey closes the door. Cox will check up. Going to be down to 10 to go the next time around in Tad Grove. White knuckling this one because Glenn Jewell is just needing the smallest of opening. Glenn Jewell's car is hooked up tonight. That South Philly Pizza number 24 is ready for the move to the inside groove. Final 10 laps of this one. A good race so far. McClintock all by himself in 3rd. Braden Swaney having a nice run in 4th. Allensworth wants that spot, and he's been looking to the inside. Just one small mistake for Grove, and it's going to be all Glenn Jewell to the inside lane so far. It has not opened up. 8 laps to go now for Tad Grove in the number 3 ride. Grove and Jewel down the backstretch by themselves, single file formation back through the field. These very equally prepared machines for fourth place. Allensworth has the opening to the inside of Swaney in turn 3. Turn 4, he will pull forward at the line. He has him by inches. Make it feet. 18 in, 7 to go. And Allensworth is up to 4th. Swaney now could get freight trained in the outside, as Swaney's caught in that second lane. If he can get down behind Bailey, it won't be too bad. If he can't, it could be out of the top 10. Swaney will be able to find that opening and get down in front of Philip Cox. 5 laps to go. Nathan Embry off the track. That will help the cause for the 82 of Cibla, as he keeps a couple more points that he wouldn't have gotten had he not started the feature in the backup plan. The Hudson machine. 4 to go. Going to be 3 to go. Going to be 3 to go at the line. Three laps to go for the 3 of Tad Grove. Glenn Jewell following in the tire tracks. 2 laps to go for Tad Grove. Not making a single mistake. All it will take is 1, and he just about pushed up a little bit in 1 and 2 that time. Jewell unable to get underneath him. We're going to see the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for Tad Grove. Final circuit for Grove and Jewell. McClintock all by himself in 3rd. Going to be a good points night for McClintock. He's about to pick up 16 points on Cibla in this race. Coming off for the checkered flag, Tad Grove picks up the victory. Glenn Jewell finishes 2nd, 3rd to Kevin McClintock. 4th spot to the 21 of Allensworth. Finishing in 5th, the 55 of Brandon Bailey. 6th spot, decent run for Swaney. Philip Cox 7th. Boy, was Glenn ready to pounce. The veteran finishes 2nd. Kevin McClintock, good points night. Again, picking up 16 points on Bob Cibla Jr. here in the feature, as Cibla did get to start the feature in the Hudson machine to salvage some of his point lead. McClintock, a solid 3rd place run after starting in the 5th position. Tad Grove taking the victory lap around Midvale Speedway with the checkered in hand. And I'm sure for a lot of drivers in the top 5, tonight just good to take the cars to the pits, load them up in one piece. They've had some rough nights, as I've heard, in the modifies, but they proved tonight they can run a good, clean race, and that they did. Pulling to victory lane in the JD Byrider number 3, also sponsored by CNAC Financing, Greg's Recovery, and Finish Line Designs. Climbing out in just a moment, where Matthew Helms will have a word with your winner, Tad Grove.
By a tad, didn't you?
As he can hear you now, give a hand for Tad Grove. Well, Tad, you picked up the win a couple weeks ago also. That's the same time Kyle picked up a win, so it was Grove show there. Did a really good job tonight, held off the veteran Glenn Jewell. I don't know if he bumped you or anything. Probably did a little bit, but you held a steady line.
Yeah, that's what you got to do in this class. You can't slide up and let them have the bottom.
Who all would you like to thank on this 3?
My dad, Swan, Neil Rowley, all the sponsors, all the fans that come out to watch.
Congratulations for leading flag to flag.
Thanks.
Give a hand for Tad Grove.
Okay, Matthew, I got 3rd place finisher or 2nd place finisher Glenn Jewell over here. Real quick, McClintock's machine was overheating. He went up to the trailer, wanted to thank everybody again, Federated Auto Parts, and everybody said he wished he wouldn't have got hung in traffic. Glenn Jewell, you gave him everything you had, buddy.
Yeah, it was a good run. I wanted to run him clean and tried to stick my nose under there a couple of times, but it wasn't there, so second's better than last, and it was a fun race. He drove a good race.
And you still got a half a season to pick up that feature victory you want to get so bad.
I hope so. I turn 65 next week, and I'd like to get one before the season's over, and we'll see what happens at the end of the season.
There you go. So nothing major. I thought maybe they were stopping to say something was on the track. That wasn't the case, and it's going to be Chase Hughes in the 03. TJ Barker in the 11. 20 laps the distance. Green flag is out. Street stock feature underway. Hughes inside, Barker outside, up the banking they go. We nearly had them 3 wide. They're clean and green. Coming off of turn number 2. Leading the way is TJ Barker. Last week's winning car, Robbie Patterson, the 80, dirt track, and a little bit of smoke as well in the outside lane, moving up into the 3rd spot, soon to take 2nd away from Hughes. Luther Chambers, oh, look out on the backstretch. This could get ugly. Around goes Passwaters as he collects the 80 car of Patterson. Really, it was the other way around as Patterson got sideways and down into the 74. Back underway in the street stock feature. TJ Barker and Chase Hughes into 1. Inside lane with the advantage. Waylon Orr moving up into the number 2 spot. Waylon Orr into 2nd. Hughes falls back to 3rd. Kyler Bertram running 4th. Passwaters Jr. running the outside lane in 5th. Passwaters Jr. car looks to be okay, starting to make a run in the outside lane. Can he keep the momentum up? And for the lead, here comes Waylon Orr. Waylon Orr to the inside of TJ Barker, and Waylon Orr takes the number 1 spot away, going to lead it for lap number 3. Passwaters Sr. around in turn number 2. Bob Passwaters Sr. in the 75 car goes around in the 2nd corner. Three in, 17 to go. Orr, Barker to the green. Turn number 4, back underway. Now, who will move up as the 28 car of Orr will go back out front into the lead. Chase Hughes in the 03 on the inside lane. A little bit sideways, trying to close that gap would be Barker. If he can get down, he's going to be able to hang on to 2nd for the time being, and he does a nice job of doing just that. So Barker holds on to 2nd. Bertram slides up the banking there in turn 2. Nearly made and maybe made slight contact with the 74 of Passwaters. Groves boxed in a little bit in the 3. As we have completed 5 of our scheduled 20. 5 laps in, 15 to go. Kyler Bertram in the 55. Here's a 3-wide battle. Kyle Grove checks up. Didn't want to make any contact with Bertram. Bertram pushing up a little bit coming off the corners. Is waiting for another opening as Kyle Grove. He's going to get one coming off of 2 here. Here's Kyle Grove to the inside. Pulls up to the door. He's there. Kyle Grove inside of Kyler Bertram. Didn't seem to matter. Bertram closes the door nonetheless. Nearly spins it coming out of the corner all over the place. Down the banking. Controls it. Grove drops back a few spots as here comes Hoopengarner in the 1 car to the outside lane. So Bertram in the 55 car hanging on to a loose race car. Does he hang on to it here? Way up the track. He's going to overcorrect. Oh, he has to check up. Hoopengarner to the outside. Miller to the inside. It got wild coming off of turn number 4. And Bertram now has lost a few positions. Leading the way is Waylon Orr. 9 complete at the line. 11 to go. The 11 of Barker running 2nd. Hughes in the 03 running in 3rd. 3 of Grove running in 4th. Little contact between Larry Smith and Colton Ritchie, and around goes Ritchie. So caution flag is out as the 21 of Colton Ritchie and the 44 of Larry Smith, some contact in turn number 1. So we'll see if it plays out that way, but that's likely to happen. 9 complete, 11 to go for Orr and Barker. Green flag is out, and down into 1 we go. And we got the 44 car of Larry Smith going around, and we've got caution out. and the 3 of Kyle Grove restarting in 4th. Here we go, turn number 4, 11 laps from the finish, trying it again in this JD Byrider Street Stock feature. Hoopengarner to the infield, and Passwater's checking up behind him. Ready for a restart once again under overcast conditions right now as we come upon nightfall. 1 lap from the halfway mark. Green flag is out. This time it's Larry Smith diving to the bottom. He checks up before contact ensues. And we've got a great battle at the front of the field. First, second, and third. Chase Hughes sticking his nose back inside. Barker running the second lane strongly. Cross flags this time halfway. At the line, Barker the leader. 11 laps in, 9 to go this time. Oh, Passwater's into the wall. It's going to bring out a caution. Yellow flag is out. 75 of Passwaters gets stoved up into the wall coming off of turn number 4. TJ Barker up front, Kyle Grove, Chase Hughes in row 2, and Larry Smith working his way up to 5th. Bob Passwaters Jr. 6th. Green is back out, 10 to go. In the street stock feature, Chase Hughes a little bit of a sluggish start, a little bit of contact. Kyle Grove and Waylon Orr as they rub some pain heading into that first turn. Grove can be patient here. He's got 10 laps to go, a very fast race car in the 3rd spot. Little contact between the 1 car of Hoopengarner and the 03 of Hughes. Now it's going to be Bertram getting to the inside of Hughes. Hughes a little contact back with a 1 of Hoopengarner, who's going to move into the 4th spot. Gary Hoopengarner, who qualified 2nd earlier tonight, now going for the number 4 position. Oh, Waylon Orr brings it off sideways. Was there a little bit of help from the 3 of Grove that time? Some close racing between those top 3, and Orr knows he has Grove behind him. He has Barker to the outside. And he's got Hoopengarner and Larry Smith closing the gap as well. This is going to be a dogfight down the stretch. 7 laps to go. Boy, Grove and Hoopengarner nearly made some contact. Grove started to go to the bottom. Hoopengarner was there. Hoopengarner jammed on the brakes to avoid contact. Now Grove is hoping that the outside lane moves up. Hoopengarner's wanting the inside groove to move forward. And in fact, don't be surprised if Kyle Grove tries the 3rd lane here in a little bit. If they slow down just enough, he may try to make it 3 wide. Larry Smith going to take his ride to the pits. He was up in that lead battle just a lap or 2 ago, but now he has fallen off the pace and has gone pit side. 5 laps to go that time. 15 laps have been completed. What a battle in this street stock feature. Waylon Orr back out front. Checks up going into the turn early. TJ Barker pulls back alongside. Close to an opening for Hoopengarner and Grove as they rub and race toward the front of the field. Grove slides back to 4th. It's Gary Hoopengarner now up into the number 2 spot. Hoopengarner up to 2nd. Here comes Grove. He'll look for 3rd. He'll be able to get there and have it at the line. 3 laps remaining, 17 in. Waylon Orr, Gary Hoopengarner, Kyle Grove, the 3 to battle it out. Barker in a solid position of 4th. That was close as now Grove checks up, locks up the tires to avoid contact with a 1 of Hoopengarner. We saw Hoopengarner do it earlier in the race to avoid Grove. That time Grove did it to avoid Hoopengarner. Good clean racing between those 2, and we're going to see 1 more lap of it. White flag this time. 1 to go. Hoopengarner trying the outside. He will go back to the bottom lane. Right there, Waylon Orr protecting the bottom. Grove's gone to the inside of Hoopengarner for 2nd. They're racing to the checkered this time. Checkered flag is out. It's going to be Waylon Orr to the win. It's going to be Kyle Grove in 2nd, and it will be the 1 of Hoopengarner taking the 3rd spot. Waylon Orr bringing home his first victory of 2015. He's done a lot of work to that race car, made it pretty solid. Kyle Grove, a good second place finish for the number 3 car. Good battle between Kyle Grove and Gary Hoopengarner. And you know, those two had some issues on track with each other earlier this season. And then it carried over to social media as I was watching that show from 7.5 hours away. But the two raced each other extremely clean tonight. Did a great job as they checked up for one another to give each other room as they raced toward the front and finished in second and third. So good run for those two drivers.
There's a lot of people here. Let me get you ready.
The Mallet Energy, Bucky Mowing. Sponsored number 28. Also sponsored by PVF Supply. Let's hear it for Waylon Orr. Waylon, congratulations. I talked to you there on Facebook a week or two ago, and I said, how's the car doing? And you said it's doing pretty good. Talked about your dad, see if he's helping you set this thing up. You guys used to run Detroit Iron together and stuff, and I see Jimmy's in the house tonight over here. But hey, great run tonight. This thing was hooked up, but you had Kyle Grove, you had Gary Hoopengarner, you had TJ Barker, you had everybody coming up to battle you.
Oh, yeah. I'm just glad TJ could hang on the outside there, so it helped.
I saw your car. It almost looked like it was just slowing down a tad bit early. It was missing at the end of the straightaway. You were going to have to get that fixed, right?
Yep.
Hey, you have some people you want to thank tonight.
Oh, a bunch of people. First of all, Luke Mallet. He's one of my good sponsors. There he is. Luke, thank you, buddy. Appreciate everything. My dad, all the fans, everybody. Brad McLean, Dan Bucky. Good job, man. Grandma, Aunt Tammy, Stacy, everybody.
There you go. He's covered everybody. Anybody forgot, he thanks you as well. Your winner again, let's hear it for Waylon Orr.
Caught up with third place finisher Magic Shoes Hoopengarner. And Gary, I'll tell you what, you gave them kids all you had up there. You had to fight your way back from the back. Good job, man.
Thank you. We changed about everything but the driver from the heat race to the feature. I'd like to thank Bobby Allensworth, and he gave me a lot of help there. This thing had problems, like 5 or 6 things we changed. I didn't change my shoes, though.
Good thing you didn't change the shoes or the driver, because the driver did a pretty good job coming from the back to the front, made some nice moves. Good, clean racing with you, Grove, and Waylon Orr up front.
Yeah, it was a good race. I think Kyle got me there at the end. But, yeah, I had fun. Now I got to go do 30 in a late model, so.
Well, you better get to moving.
All righty, thanks.
Gary Hoopengarner going to go hop in a late model, pulling the double duty tonight. That's why we wait on him. We'll go get a word with pole sitter Matthew Mills. And you talked about Mills doing some racing in different racetracks this season. And Matthew, starting on the pole tonight in this Mach 4 machine. You got anything for him tonight?
Okay, I got you now.
20 cars ready for green. Matthew Mills in the number 4. The 6 of Larry Baker. They come to the white stripe in 4, and already a failed start to get us started tonight as Mills and Baker don't go at the right time and going to have a caution just like that. Outside of Matt Mills tonight as they come off of turn 4. Watch Rosenberry and Brian Smith in row number 2 ready for green. Here we go. Green flag waving, but caution back out again. Another failed start. First time it was Baker jumping a little bit. This time it was Mills jumping a little bit. Mills in the 4, Baker in the 6. Already Baker's pulling forward. Mills now pulls alongside of him. They go over to turn number 4. Here we go. Green flag is out, but Animal was spun out in turn number 3. We're going to have a caution again. Yellow out for the Animal, Bob Eichel.
Yeah, Joe Slentz and him got together. It looked like Animal maybe checked up a little bit, and Slentz blasted him, spun him out here before the start.
Getting ready for green, coming off of turn number 4, getting ready to go. This time off of turn number 4, green flag is out. Mills and Baker bring him down the front stretch. A little bit of contact between the two as Mills closes the door. Here comes the 2-car Rosenberry to the inside. Rosenberry moves into the second spot. Bryant Smith gets to the bottom just in time. He's going to go for the number 3 position. Double wide, back behind him. Trouble, front stretch. Ripley, heavy contact. As Hughes in the 0-3 got sideways coming off of 4, he went down the banking. There was nowhere for Ripley to go. He was against the bottom lane, and caution comes out as the 0-3 of Hughes got sideways coming off of 4, and when he came down the track, just nowhere Ripley could go, and a hard collision. Saw the debris fly way up into the air. Coletti tried to catch it with his flag. He missed it, but fortunately it fell right in front. Coming up on Monday for Larry Ennis Jr., driver of the number 57 Compact, turning yet another year older, celebrating a birthday this coming Monday. Baker and Rosenberry, Smith and Miller, Malkett and Ritter in row 3, Summers, Stankiewicz in row 4. Here we go. Ready for green. Can we get a lap in this time? No laps in, 30 to go. We are underway for this late model feature, and Rosenberry shoots out front. Mike Miller will follow in the 53. Miller on the outside. Bryant Smith finds an opening in the bottom lane. He's going to go inside to take the 3rd spot. That's a heads-up move for Bryant Smith, so he doesn't get boxed in much longer. And we complete the 1st lap. Ritter was a little sideways. Malkett got to the inside. Malkett up to the 5th position. He'll go for 4th now. Boy, some hot dogs in our late model division. Marcus Malkett, Alex Rosenberry, Mike Miller, Bryant Smith, Doug Summers. They're all coming toward the front. 30 laps of action, this stellar field of late models at Midvale Speedway here on the 11th of July 2015. And right now Alex Rosenberry setting the pace all by himself. Bryant Smith and Mike Miller soon to battle for the number 2 spot. Miller said he could not get this car hooked up all day long. Still doesn't look like it's at its best. And Bryant Smith's going to have to find his way around. Not an easy task, that 53 car of Miller. Lap traffic will be coming up in about a lap and a half for the number 2 car of Rosenberry. Bryant Smith taking a peek to the high lane of Mike Miller for 2nd. Going to be 5 laps in. Miller sideways. Bryant Smith in some contact. Miller able to save it, and Bryant Smith pulls along to the outside lane. Miller got sideways, and Bryant Smith got into the back of him afterwards. And now the two battle it out for the 2nd position. Mike Miller, Bryant Smith going at it for 2nd. Rosenberry has caught Slintz. This is going to be a bad break coming up for Bryant Smith because lap traffic is ahead. Joe Slintz in the 47. He'll move out of the way, catches him at the right part of the racetrack as Miller and Bryant Smith rub a little more paint. Bryant Smith has him at the line to complete lap 7 as Rosenberry tries to pull away, gain some more ground, get that gap. Close call for Slintz and Bubba Smith as he and Emerson Huffman squeeze through. Bryant Smith having second place at the line again, second, third, and fourth. A very good battle right now. Also, Bubba Smith and Emerson Huffman battle right now for the number 8 position. Oh, Bryant Smith, Mike Miller, both almost synchronized sliding coming off of turn number 4 that time around. 75 of Marcus Malkett waiting for an opening. Malkett right now boxed in, 10 in, 20 to go for Alex Rosenberry. Bryant Smith has been able to edge Mike Miller at the line a number of these laps, but he's been unable to clear him so far. This is the best run that he's had. Miller pulls back alongside, bangs on the door, Bryant Smith. They both steer out of it. They both continue on, beating and banging. Somehow they don't crash. 53 of Miller and the 1 of Bryant Smith for that number 2 position. Marcus Malkett running in 4th. He's got the bird's eye view. Not sure that I'd want to be right where he is. He knows that they're on the edge of crashing those 2 cars as they close on the 31 of Tom Early. This is going to be the next close call for Bubba Smith. Early not going up the banking quite as far. Yellow out, trouble in turn 2. Trouble in turn number 2. Caution out for the 45 of Gary Hoopengarner. Was beating him by a nose piece but could not clear him, and with the yellow that definitely helped him out. But I think Rosenberry still is strong. Bryant Smith on the outside as they will battle it out up front. 12 laps in, 18 to go. Late model feature is back underway. A good restart we have. Down into the first turn we go. Rosenberry rubbing a little bit with Bryant Smith as they go through 1 and 2. Rosenberry edges ahead. Bryant Smith in the outside lane. Into 3 they go. Good racing out front. Rosenberry not quite clearing him yet. Still giving Bryant Smith some room to the high lane. Smith now is cleared by Rosenberry. His number 2 car looks to be much better than it was earlier in the night, as we talked about. Chris Kale mentioning Rosenberry had some brake issues, I guess, in practice and qualifying. Smith in second, Miller in third, Mike Miller followed by Marcus Malkett in the 4th spot. We'll see if Malkett tries a run to the outside here soon. Right now just following in the tire tracks of Mike Miller. We are halfway, 15 laps in, 15 laps to go. Around goes Ritter coming off a 2. Look out on the infield. Ritter into the Uke tire. Caution flag is out. Cars wheel to wheel, entering turn 3. They go over to turn 4, start to pick up the pace. Good restart. Green is out, back underway between Rosenberry and Smith. Down into the corner, they rub the slightest of paint, trade the slightest of graphics in turn number 1. Continue down the backstretch. Rosenberry the slight advantage. Smith still working that second lane. Rosenberry pulls forward. He has the lead at the line. Smith fighting back in the outside groove. Mike Miller running in the 2nd spot. Marcus Malkett running in the 4th position, running 5th, the 3 car of Summers. 17 in, 13 to go. Bryant Smith going to drop back to the low lane. Rosenberry leading lap 18. 18 in, 12 to go. Bryant Smith following in the tire tracks, trying to apply some pressure to the number 2 of Alex Rosenberry. 11 to go. Caution flag is waving. Yellow flag is out. A speeding ticket for the number 2 of Alex Rosenberry as he has broken out of his qualifying time twice during this race. Some drivers are real good at slowing down during the course of a feature to try to avoid going under their time there. Rosenberry had to step it up. Bryant Smith's pressure was from behind. The green is out in turn number 4. Back underway. Mike Miller and Marcus Malkett get together, coming off of 2. Damage to the right front of Malkett's number 75. $19 in, 11 to go for Bryant Smith, the 53 of Mike Miller. Green flag is out. Good restart for the 2 up front. Miller and Smith side by side coming off the second turn. Smith going to go into the lead. Miller will go back to the bottom line, drops in line. Here comes Stankiewicz back in the field, going to try to move into the top 5. Miller applying the pressure to Bryant Smith down into the first turn. Nearly made some contact. They keep on going in the right direction. That was 10 to go. Going to be 9 to go this time. 9 laps remaining, and here comes top qualifier Bubba Smith to the second lane. Nothing out there his first try. He's going to try it again down in 1 and 2. Roger Smith nearly gets up in the wall as he and Larry Baker battle it out. A couple Barberton veterans deep in the pack. Things bunching up at the front of the field. That's going to allow Bubba Smith to get to the outside groove. As Bubba Smith takes the high lane with 8 to go, Rosenberry's back up to 6th. He's going to be gone for 5th in a moment. Bubba Smith working that high lane, the top qualifier, finding his way forward methodically as he normally does. The point leader here at Midvale Speedway, Bubba Smith, will take 3rd away from Doug Summers on the backstretch. Now it's down to Mike Miller and Bryant Smith. 6 laps to go. 6 remaining for the lead duo. Bryant Smith has stepped it up a notch. He's pulled away a little bit from the 53 of Mike Miller. Rosenberry now for 5th. Rosenberry's car a little bit free in that outside lane. Washed up the banking a little coming off of turn 4 that time. Shoves up a little bit coming off of 2. Not given a ton of room by Stankiewicz that time. Still look for an opening. 4 to go for Bryant Smith. Bubba Smith has to swerve to the right to avoid the 53 of Miller in turn 1 as he was trying to set up a move on the race runner-up. 3 to go for Bryant Smith. Bubba Smith still looking for the number 2 position. 2nd and 3rd. Nose to tail. Bubba Smith taking a peek to the inside of Mike Miller. Miller keeping that door closed. White flag coming out this time. 1 more lap to go for Bryant Smith, Mike Miller, Bubba Smith, Doug Summers, and the 42 of Stankiewicz. Rosenberry not able to get a run on Stankiewicz. It's going to be the number 1. Number 1 of Bryant Smith claiming the victory here tonight in the late model feature. Good battle between he and Rosenberry. Then Miller gave it his all. Miller definitely fighting some ill handling conditions, but still bringing home a 2nd tonight. Good run for the veteran in the 53. As the Canton Auto Sales, Freedom Auto Finance, Canton Auto Salvage, number 1. Claiming the victory here tonight. As he digresses with flagman Terry Coletti before getting out. This Port City chassis powered by a Dream Racing engine. And gets the old High Daddy here in victory lane. Your winner, Brian Smith. Bryant, earlier, you made less than nice comments about me, but I tried to talk nicely about you. Car ran pretty good tonight. This thing was hooked up. You were able to pressure Rosenberry there early. That was probably the difference in the long run. Forced him, you knew, to go under his time. You've been in that position, too. You hate to be out front with pressure behind when you have a time that's pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean, the car was actually just a hair loose, not bad, but I felt like I had a really good car, but on the outside it was just a little bit loose. It was hard to get that bite off the corner, to get that speed down the straightaway to complete the pass on both Miller and Rosenberry.
Got a little battle scars, but that's expected in a late model feature, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, these are stock cars. I mean, as long as you're not, wrecking somebody, bumping happens. You don't like to hit somebody, but, I mean, I got Mike pretty good coming off 4 the one time.
Oh, I don't know about these microphones they got here now.
Yeah, probably your cursor.
I think they save battery. They probably gone green. They shut off after like 15 seconds. You were being long-winded, so let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I got in the mic pretty good one time. I want to apologize to him for that because he got a little loose, and that's the time I was going to shoot to the outside of him, and it just happened that was the time he got loose right in front of me, and I.
Okay, so how about a big round of applause for your winner, Brian Smith? Okay, I caught up with second place finisher Mike Miller, and Mike, you said just too tight of a car. Brian apologized to you for a little bit of contact there, but Robin's racing, right?
Yeah, to a point, but yeah, we've just been fighting the car for the last few weeks. It just won't roll the middle of the turn, and I got to wait on it too long, which I know everybody's on my bumper at that point,
Well, and like you said a little bit earlier, you're starting to make gains on it here and there, and if you could get it to turn, you could win in this car.
Yeah, it's got enough, oomph to win, and we just roll around the corner. The one night early in the year, and we seem to have lost it, and we can't figure out how to get it back. So.
Well, good second place run tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Put your hands together for second place finisher Mike Miller. I apologize for the microphone, Mr. Mackey. We'll get that corrected here shortly.
Does that tend to just shut off after, 30 seconds or so? Starting field, ready for green, 20 laps the distance. Canton Auto Salvage Compacts ready to roll, not literally. As they come off of turn number 4, green is out in the 24 car. Down into the first corner, Brent Schreffler. He's going to be the leader. Alan Clark fighting on the inside. Brent Schreffler with the advantage, side by side for the second position as they battle down the front stretch. Larry Ennis Jr. looking to thread a needle. Can't do it though. Schreffler pulls out forward just enough as we complete our first lap of the scheduled 20 laps. Alan Clark putting himself, that's on the inside lane, and then his buddy coming on the outside lane. That's Dan Bucky in the white 69 car. And Wes Ennis also making a move. Wes Ennis in the 50, top qualifier moving up. He's already picked up a handful of positions, looking to pick up a handful more. If he does, he's going to be out front and on his way to extending his point lead. Wes Ennis in the 4 spot, a little bit of bump with the 169 of Alan Clark for the lead. Larry Ennis Jr. in the 57 on the inside. Brent Schreffler running that second lane. We're going to complete lap number 4 this time. 4 in, 16 to go. At the stripe, the 24 of Schreffler leading the way. Inside groove now, starting to move forward. Larry Ennis Jr. holding the top spot. Some of the old style Cavaliers moving forward on the inside lane, taking the first and second positions, but it's just a matter of time. Here comes the 50. Wes Ennis up to third, soon to be second, and probably not long thereafter will be challenging his brother for the lead. For second spot right now, Ennis takes it over at the line, 6 down, 14 to go. Many of the compact races over the years going 15 laps, they going 20 here in 2015 with these big feature fields. And right now tonight, probably Wes Ennis would only need about 12. Right now, 7 complete, and Wes Ennis will close quickly on his brother Larry Ennis Jr. For the third position, Dan Bucky to the outside. Bucky, one of our top point runners, second in the standings, right ahead of Gage J. Berg and Kyle Finlayson. But they're pretty far back of Wes Ennis, who is our runner-up in this race. And he is closed on Larry Ennis Jr. Ennis up the track. Here comes Wes Ennis to the inside. He's going to take over the lead. Larry with a little bump for Vic Paul. He loses the number 1 spot as we close on lap number 9. 9 down, 11 to go. You know who's on the move right now is the number 4 of Blaine Salisbury. He started this race last. And right now he is up in the 5th spot. And Blaine Salisbury, and not too long, maybe up in about 3rd. He's right now in 5th, 4th, and 3rd right in front of him. He's thinking about outside lane 3 wide. That's the white and green 4. And we've got yellow out. Turned in this race, both in the 17.9s. So those would be the 2 to watch. They both turned laps within the same 10th of one another. Green flag is out for Wes Ennis and Larry Ennis Jr. Blaine Salisbury gets a look to the inside of Alan Clark. The door goes closed. Alan Clark continues on. Now he slows it down in the infield, comes to a stop on the edge of the racetrack. He got a little bit of help and then stopped to bring out a yellow. Set for green, coming out of turn number 4, Wes Ennis, Larry Ennis Jr., and Dan Bucky. The top 3 back underway. Down into the first corner, plenty of sparks coming out. A little fireworks display a week late from the 46 of Christian Bailey, who heads off into the pits. Wes Ennis going back out front, halfway this time, 10 laps in, 10 laps to go. Larry Ennis Jr. up the track a little bit. And now the door opens in the outside lane for Blaine Salisbury. Don't know if he's quick enough to pass the 50 of Wes Ennis, but we're going to have a chance to maybe find out as he's now up to 3rd. He's going to be going for 2nd, but Larry Ennis closes the door coming out of the corner. Salisbury in the 3rd spot. Salisbury gets a run to the inside. It is open for business. He's going to pull alongside Larry Ennis Jr. for the number 2 spot. Salisbury up to 2nd. Ennis back to 3rd. 4th is Bucky. Battle for 5th between Gage J. Berg and Kyle Finlayson. J. Berg has him at the line for the 5th spot, but Finlayson pulling forward down. Well, we'll see what kind of laps they do. They've got 7 to go this time at the line, and the fastest 2 cars in this race are definitely at the front. Ennis did it from about mid-pack to get to the front. Salisbury did it from the back of the field. And Salisbury is closing the gap. Salisbury closing the gap on Ennis. Going to be 5 laps to go the next time around, and Blaine Salisbury has it down to 2 car lengths. Closing the gap a little more. Wes Ennis in the 50. Blaine Salisbury in the 4 with 4 laps to go, and traffic is ahead. Vic Paul moves out. Blaine Salisbury on the rear bumper of Wes Ennis. Top 2 cars with 3 laps to go. I don't know that he can get him without any contact. Might have to do a little bump and run. Maybe get a little help from a lap car, and right now Hunter Corbett right in front of him, down into the corner. Corbett will give him just enough room to get by to the inside. 2 laps to go for the number 50 of Wes Ennis. Ennis and Salisbury first and second. Running third, another third-place podium effort for Dan Bucky. Mr. Consistency there. That's why he's second in points. White flag's out, 1 to go, and Salisbury going to try to make it a last lap effort. Goes down to the corner, right on the rear bumper. Out of the turn, looks to the outside. Ennis trying to keep that bottom protected. Salisbury fighting hard in the second groove. They're coming to the line on the front stretch. Checkered flag is out. Ennis is going to win it. Second place goes to the 4 of Salisbury. Third to Bucky. Fourth to Ennis. And fifth to the 15 of Finlayson. Tonight it's celebration for Wes Ennis. To downtown Ford Victory Lane here on Federated Auto Parts Van Meters Auto Repair Night at Midvale Speedway. Ennis, the victory lap yet again. He had a couple of bad years of terrible luck in his own race car where he was fast, but the car would shut off at random times. He would have issues, and that's not the case this year in that Oliver ride, as it's been fast from the start of the season to now past mid-season.
Like you said, Adam, how about the run by Blaine Salisbury from the back of the pack? Man, that was a pretty good race. That was exciting to watch those two guys coming up through.
It was like Salisbury was up to about 6th, maybe 5th or 6th right there, and I said, man, where did he come from? That was when we were under green for the first 9 laps, and then knew when he got that yellow to bunch up the field he would have a shot to compete. And that's what he did. He did compete. Wes Ennis never slid up the banking to open the door. Couldn't quite get him on the outside. And Wes Ennis, victorious tonight at Midvale, will head trackside. Hopefully the microphone will work for Matt Helms.
Pulling into downtown Fort Victory.
And it wasn't just me, I guess. They're going to be sending that one back. Get ashore. Did you hear that? Get ashore? I think that's what I would get.
It won't even stay on. Hey, we're going to make this quick. Good job. You only needed like half the laps. You had to hold off your brother. Good job.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Joe, Stewart's Flooring, Terrace Hair Care, Bad Boy Blasters,
Good job. Let's have a nice round of applause for Wes Ennis. Mini truck feature. Last one to go. It's up next. I remember when Chunky used to announce here. I think he had microphones that worked better than that, and that's hard to believe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's going back to where it was bought from tomorrow, or Monday, I should say. I'll come over and get the last interview. Hopefully it'll work, but congratulations to Wes. That was definitely entertaining to watch, and apologize for the microphone issues, but it must be you. We haven't had this many microphone issues since you came back in, so I'll blame you.
Oh, okay, then just keep the microphone here to be okay next week.
No.
That's why I wanted to let Matt try it out there. I figured he might have the trick.
The trick is we're going to throw it in the trash. Well, we're not going to do that.
What's the trick? Tell me what the trick is. I want to see if you've learned.
By ashore.
There you go. Get ashore. 39 auto salvage truck. And rounding it out is Preston Kelly out of Strasburg. Willendale Golf Carts and Flipside Grill number 4. Ready for green. 12 laps they will go. Final feature of the night. Down the backstretch, Colt Locker in the 118 into the second spot. And just like the heat race, he's about to go for the lead relatively early. Locker on the outside. The 32 of Anderson. Michael Varnes in a battle for third with Derek Cordia. Side by side for the number 1 spot between Anderson and the 32, Locker in the 118. 23 of Dusty Nicholas, Derek Cordy in the 72, the 95 of Michael Varnes is in the 5th spot. Side by side for the lead, the 32 of Anderson, 118 of Colt Locker for the top spot. Locker, that truck, as it always was when the Bertrams had it, really gets loose on the exit of the corners, and right now that's exactly what it was doing again. It's going to be 5 in, 7 to go this time. Next time around, they will see halfway. 7 to go at the line. Colt Locker, he might have to do it on the inside lane. Don't know if he's going to be able to do it on the high groove, Chris. Just isn't working out right now.
He's going to give it a shot into turn number 3. See what happens. He's loose again off of 4.
6 laps in. 6 laps in, 6 laps to go as they come out of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. I say the next time they come toward you down the back stretch for the lead pack, Chris, I think we got to do our Crank It Up tonight. We haven't had a Crank It Up, and I think this mini truck feature would be a perfect time to do it. Keith Anderson works into turn 1, works into turn 2, and it's time now to turn up that surround sound and crank it up. I think you need to step a little further out there, Chris. We can barely hear him. We got you. The little crank it up during our.
I'm good.
Hey, you're good. That's as far as you want to be.
Yeah. For
They're
now.
only using the inside lane. Just step out into the second groove. Keith Anderson leading. Here comes Locker. Going to try again to the inside. No can do. It's going to be 2 to go this time. 10 laps in. 2 to go for Keith Anderson, Colt Locker, Billy Nicholas. That's his brother, Dusty, running in the 3rd spot. Dusty Nicholas running 3rd in the 32 ride, leading the way. Keith Anderson, 118 of Locker running 2nd. And the 23 of Dusty Nicholas running 3rd and for the lead again. Here we go with a white flag ready to wave. 1 lap to go. Locker just a little on the free side, exiting turn number 4. Can lap traffic play a part in this one? Keith Anderson hopes no. Preston Kelly in the way right now. Anderson's going to be able to clear him. Oh, it's going to get a little tight. 3 wide into the corner. Look out. Nicholas, maybe a flat right rear. He goes around down into the infield. Locker's going to bring it home in 2nd. As this one comes to an end, 72 of Cordia finishing in the 3rd spot. Knew it was going to get a little bit tight when the lap traffic was up ahead. And a bad break for Dusty Nicholas in the 23, but it's a good break for his stepfather. Keith Anderson claims the victory. Right, Chris? Late models, street stocks, compacts, and mini trucks?
That is correct. And I want to thank you for coming back, driving that long drive from Illinois.
Okay, so neither of your mics work.
So you made that long drive over. Thank you for coming and calling the races tonight.
I don't know what you do. You guys play football with those microphones or what?
Yeah, this one's kind of beat up a little bit as Keith Anderson does a little burnout in victory lane. It's about he did about an 8-foot burnout.
No, so. I got to thank you and Matt tonight for letting me come in and do my old thing. Come up here, get to call some races. Needed to have some fun tonight, and that's what I did. And I'll probably see you guys again in August sometime. About August 8th, I think we have go-karts instead of normal racing at Macon, so I'm going to try to make at least one more trip over here this year. Looking forward to it.
Nice, absolutely. Can't wait to have you back.
I think we ought to do another Christmas in July that night. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, we could. And pulling into victory lane in the Doggone Trucking M&D Design sponsored number 32. He's got Myers Heating and Cooling also on the machine. As he shuts it off, he hasn't been to victory lane in a couple weeks, but hopefully finally getting this number 32 figured out. Put your hands together for Keith Anderson. All right. Come here real quick while this microphone's still working. Man, it's been,
You made it this week.
Yeah, I'm here this week, and it's nice to have Adam back up in the booth tonight, but you probably didn't get to hear much of him.
No, I haven't heard him tonight yet.
Oh, that's all right. Maybe you'll hear him when he comes back in a few weeks. But tell me about this 32. Did you finally get it figured out? I know you had your issues last week, man. You were frustrated.
No, it's not figured out. There's something wrong with the motor. It misses and pops out here on the track, and in the pits it runs great. So I don't know what's wrong with it.
Well, you were able to hold off the very loose 118 of Colt Locker and pick up the victory. You just didn't give up that bottom. You did what you needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, that truck has way more horsepower than this one, so I was figuring he's going to go blasting past me like he did in the heat race. I didn't know what happened.
Now, the driver maybe did a pretty good job in the feature.
Well, thanks, man.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Put your hands together once again for your mini truck feature winner, Keith Anderson. Once again, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. Congratulations to all the young men and young women who picked up the bicycles tonight. Hopefully everybody had a good time tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Be safe and have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next Saturday night for Super Modifieds.
See ya!